been just a godsend to our school in the last 17 years that I've known her. Like I was telling my table, a little more nerve-wracking, speaking to a bunch of grown-ups than it is 250 kindergarten through 12th graders. But, and spoiler, I'm pretty much going to say what is on the program, so if you already read it, I apologize. But like Don said, and I just kind of assumed that we had had that conversation before about my trio experience through UND in Plummer. But I didn't realize now, now we just kind of figured that out. But yeah, so the trio program has played a significant role in the person I am today in so many ways. Beginning from, and I'm not sure, it must have been maybe 9th grade, they started, and could have been sooner in Plummer, where I graduated from servicing us students, and I was getting ready for college, like it says. I was really, high hopes, but zero confidence that I knew how to get there. My mom had went to a community college for nursing recently, in my elementary years, and she was the only person in my family that had attended any college, and she really didn't have a clue either. So the entire idea of college financial aid, getting there, was completely foreign to me, and it was, like I said, it would probably been easier to just not go than it would have been to try to figure out how to get there. But thankfully, the Plummer School District had the TRIO program, and through that is the foundation of where, what's gotten me here today, absolutely. Our TRIO advisor's name was Karen, and she was an amazing person, and I talked about her a lot with Don. Through Karen, our numerous schools, I could tour numerous schools and explore different career paths, and eventually apply for college and financial aid. The most important thing for me about the TRIO program was that Karen didn't judge. My parents were divorced, we didn't have any money, everything was kind of a struggle. I'm sure she'd never even met them. They didn't come to the school, there was no parent participation. But it didn't matter to her. She just sat next to me for everything I did, between getting signed up for college tours. She drove us to those tours, which I've done, so does with our students today. And I can just remember she was kind of a crazy lady. And we get in that van, and she was just like, let's go, girl. And so we go and tour, and she walked the University of North Dakota campus with me, which I fell in love with. She sat down with me when I applied, and then she sat down with me to do my financial aid. Then she celebrated with me when I was accepted. So she was literally there with us the entire time. So much so that we dedicated our senior yearbook to Karen. So it was really great, and we just didn't have any other support than her at our school. There was nobody else, as much as they maybe tried, there was nobody else really wanting to take on that role of getting us to the next level. Without TRIO, I'm sure I wouldn't be where I am today. As a high school student, it was foreign to me. All those years of applying for financial aid, and I've continued to do that. Not only did I receive my bachelor's degree, but I went on to obtain my master's degree in educational leadership, and then my principal's license, and then my education specialist degree. So we are, like Carrie said at our table, lifelong learners, TRIO people for sure, TRIO graduates. And then, like Don said too, as she started coming into the school and I got to know her, and she started spending time in my classroom, you can just see the value. I knew the value for myself, I knew the value for my school that I'm at right now in Goodridge. We are small, we have 250 students, K-12. We graduated 9 students last year. This year we actually graduated 20, it's getting better, but we have nobody there that can provide these services to our students. And when we lost Don is right when I started a couple years later as a principal, and I just didn't have a clue how to get the kids what they needed. And we tried, my teachers and I tried to put together some programming and things like that, but it just wasn't the same. And we definitely saw the need and where we were missing, but it was almost impossible. It felt impossible to get that back, because we couldn't do a guidance counselor. We couldn't do any of those things that bigger schools with a little bit more money and people could do. So we did what we could, but our students were getting to college tours, they were getting financial aid help, and our parents and families were starting to see that too. So when she called me a couple years ago to come back, it was just a miracle to me. Like, we're finally able to provide those services to our students, and I loved now as a student of TRIO, and now then I was a teacher that I got to watch her in the classroom, and then now as a principal watching what she's doing with my students every week she's there is just remarkable to me. The field trips she takes them on and the programs we get them in and just the extra things that she's always looking out for us. She's always like, I got this great thing, Becky. Can you do it? And I'm yes, ma'am. Yes, of course we can do it. We will make it work. So I really, when people ask me about this award, I said I didn't even do anything. You know, I am a product of TRIO, and it's because of TRIO that I got this award, and so I'm very thankful for that and thankful for this opportunity. Thank you.